Hello, my friends. The RBs are here. The rock bottoms, right? So, I was sitting outside. The sun's past, so I'm kind of all bundled up here. And just watching the sun pass through this mighty live oak that lives right behind the place that I rent. And it was just this tiny ball, because it's very dense and it's moving through behind the tree. Out through the pockets of leaves, and I'd watch that little orb dance in and out with an occasional shimmer, starburst, and just bringing life to my soul. I'm sitting inside these walls so much is deadening, like to the senses, to the souls, or whatever. But that's neither here nor there. What it is, y'all, friends. I was watching it, and I saw the biggest light come from the smallest hole. And it grew. And it shone so brightly and so large. I mean, it was Technicolor stars all around it. And you wonder why, or are you teary, Joy? Because instantly I thought of y'all. You're all in my heart. And I was like, oh my gosh. And the message, we are all headed home, came to me. And it said, Joy, you gotta let them know we're all headed home. Pardon me if I'm blocking the microphone here. We're all headed home. And maybe that's what's been amiss about this channel is, people come for the readings, and yes, those will come back when I gain a little more weight, right? I'm still stuck at that 115, had a rough patch since before the holidays and through my birthday. But anyways, they want somebody to tell them what to do and where to go and what's going to happen by predicting what's already happened in their life. And that's kind of like this thought I had from a quote that I shared on the community board today about Paulo Coelho. Like, the difference between giving somebody knowledge and somebody giving them wisdom is knowledge can come from hearing. Wisdom comes from listening. Listening involves the heart. So when you think about we're all headed home, it was this video I saw of this young man, and he's going around and tapping somebody, people all in these walkways, not like a shopping center. It looks like he's further up north where there's, the streets or where the shops are, right? And they're walking on these really broad sidewalks. And then she turns around and he puts his arm out. Well, he's got a skull cap on, and it's a young black gentleman, and I only say that because I wondered, was that part of it? I'm like, I grew up in Mississippi. I grew up in the South. Somebody tapped me on my shoulder, I'm going to turn around first and we'll just lick you from head to toe to see who's here. If your arms are out for a hug, I will hug you. I am a hugger. I don't care what you look like. I mean, that's what I'm talking about. What age you are, what stereotype, what stigma. I don't know. That was a broad, massive gift I did receive in this lifetime. Came with it. Was even trained with it. I mean, it's one of the things my parents did right, and they did good, especially my mama. But it's none of that would have mattered. It was the fact his arms are out, my heart would be pulled, right? And that's where this we're all headed home is really all just coming together. And I hear part of like sensibility kind of saying, well, you don't always know. You need to take a bigger look and kind of see what's that person up to, regardless of what age, gender, anything like that, right? And see, do they have some ulterior motive? And my mind was like, yeah, I understand that. I hear you and understand why, because I've tried it, right? I've tried that in life when I had some sexual abuse as a late teen. People told me it was because I smile a lot. And so I tried not to smile, about killed me, okay? So that's what I'm saying. I've been there, done that, understand. It's like, that ain't worth my investment. And it came to me, it said, no, Joy. The first thing you're going to see is hug, because you inherently believe everyone is good. And you believe in the best for everyone. And because that's the only place I can come from, because that's where I am, where I'm coming from. I may not live in the world that is like that. You can look at my life with bone cancer, almost killed me, stage 4, whatever it was. You know, all that stuff. And you think, her life don't show nothing. Who gonna know more about healing than someone who has smelled it, rolled around in it, been all up in it, right? Right? You usually want a cheeseburger master cooking your cheeseburger, or a French fry queen doing your French fries. You get what I'm saying? So anyways, but that's where I'm coming from. So that's my first thought. And it could be like, well, you're stupid. You ought to know better. And I thought, even after everything. And what I heard is because, Joy, your heart's inherently good. And I thought, whoa, here's the smack to where we're all headed home. Some of us people are coming from off base and coming at each other and whatever. Because very few people are living inside their own home, their own self. They're living in their driveway, the neighbor house, the mailbox, out on the street, got lost and dropped in some neighborhood, or got dropped off in some foreign place like I did, and you're finding your way back, listening to your heart like Pooh Bear listens to his belly to find his honey potty. So I don't know where home is, but my tummy does. It knows where my honey pot is. That we're like that. Let's go to the honey pot. And to do that, we need to remove all those extraneous lenses. Somehow we go into the psychic realm, or the reader's realm, or the intuitive, or the guide, or the empath, the seer, the medium, We're wanting it made plain, made crystal clear, made whatever. But what it is being individual, having that joy, the individuation of love. Love is universal. Yes. We get air to breathe, we get sunshine, we get sun exposure, those type of things, right? But how my body synthesizes that is different than how yours does. My body's going to synthesize it for me. And it's up to me to synthesize enjoyment and relaxation, whatever else, right? To keep me heading home, to keep me home, to get me in the center of the world, where my oxygen is fresh, But it was a good thought, because I've been pushed up against, tested, judged for 50 years, because people want to find out, are you an imposter? Are you a fake? You don't really believe that. I'm going to test you. I'm going to cut you. I'm going to hurt you. I'm going to break you. I'm going to tear you down. Let me see how strong you are. Let me see how tolerant are you. Let me see how patient you are, And being I'm a person of faith, of grace, of compassion and truth. Peppered and seasoned with truth, yes. Punctuation marks are importante. Thank you. Maybe not for a sentence, but we're talking about novels here, okay? I don't know where that rant went, but anyways. The quote, Swear Will Jump, Paulo Coelho, because that was earlier. And he said, he's calling people to follow their heart, to step into their heart, to, sorry, that chair is getting tough on my elbow, to follow their heart. And he says, one thing I can tell you is, I didn't say you're not going to suffer, but I did say you won't regret it. So, being that I didn't even have ashes left in my soul after they cooked me, I didn't finish treatment, y'all, but the radiation part, oh yeah, that's where the 40 pounds went. Go to junk. There weren't even ashes left in my soul. I didn't know who I was, where I was. I mean, they put me on the stuff. They put people to sit in the back closet and to waste away and die on, okay? So I'm like, So when I heard that today, it was a firm foundation under my feet. And my younger son showed up on one of the days I was closest to dying. He hadn't dropped by yet. He had talked to me and things. And he didn't even know. And all I could think is, well, I really don't care if I die at this point, because, you're like one breath away from it, right? But I didn't get to call my son and tell him. And then he shows up. It's really wild. And I was gray. I was ashen. I didn't have ashes left in my soul because I was ashy. I was the ash. And what happens when the phoenix does its final flame, the Quetzalcoatl, there's no more phoenix, because that's where the cycle comes from, okay? New birth, new life, whole new creature, the metamorphosis, right? And he said, Mom, because what you're going through is harder than last time, because cancer already took so much from you, and then you lost your kidney during this, and a function of an entire kidney is like, no one will ever pick you up or help you or whatever. He said, you just got to believe that. He said, because that's where you will find that space inside of you, that ground floor, that the rock bottom, right, where you can stand. Because up until this point, I was just spiraling out in Neverland. I don't know where it is. Even when I was off the medication, I'm talking about the blow that this dealt me. Can't walk, can't drive, can't make my food, can't breathe, all sorts of stuff. Anyways, and he said, you've got to do it. And he said, I believe in you. You can. You're the wisest person I know. You've fed me and my friends wisdom for years and years, as long as I can remember. And what else did he say? Basically, what he said is this that you're facing in your mind, because it was a mind game, knowing I was beyond death, actually, y'all. Because it was going, what am I hanging on for? I have nothing left, And I sent out appreciation to the people who follow here, and to my children and my family, mentally. But then outside of that, I was like, I'm ready to go, because nobody really leans on me, draws to me, whatever. Let's just, we're not physically needed here anymore. Let's go. And I'm like, yes. But he said, Mom, my generation, we're all facing those thoughts all the time. I was like, yeah, because I am really close to children and youth, always have been, did lots of service in that area, and still reach out to anybody of any age, really, but there's especially youth and elderly. And he said, Mom, so you're going through what we're going through. And when you come through this, you'll be able to help our generation, our people, these people that are my age that don't know how to break these things. And he said, it's one thing, when I tell him, things that he's had to overcome, because I raised him, right? So he's a leader like that, and that we've had to break through a lot of things that other people seem to not be able to break through. And then we share the open-heartedness and the wisdom. Wisdom's not everything, right? Kind of like water needs a vessel, right, to get to your mouth. So anyways, and he said, so that's why you don't see your purpose, you don't see anything. He said, that one thing I can tell you is I see that. So you need to see that. And I'm sorry you're having to go through what we're all going through. And then it's hard and so shocking. He said, but you'll do it, you'll get through, you will. And I know you can. That's what he told me. It's like being the rock bottoms, y'all. That's where we all truly begin. Humpty Dumpty fell off a wall, right? And the thing is he's gone through that dream state over and over again that can't be put together again. Let me get this scenario. Let me do that scenario. Let me whatever. Why? Dream state is when you're not moving. You're not going anywhere. There's it's the spinning of the wheel. It's the wheel. It's the karma. It's that whole rat race. It's that whole circus act. It's that whole thing, right? When we realize we've hit rock bottom is when we've awakened. And the first thing we have to know we can do is stand up. If any of you've seen it, think of the movie WALL-E, right? They didn't know what those appendages were for. They only knew that this was to get the gulp to their mouth. You know what I mean? So how to get somebody to do something they've never done is put them in a situation they've never been in. And that's what they tell me at this. And we don't know. It's, we don't know. Because we don't have anybody like you. And, that's what they told me last time, too. So no help for gaining the weight, for rehabbing my left leg that wasn't working at all, from the biopsy, a bone biopsy, all these other things. It's been wild. So that was the day I started coming back from the grave, from 6 feet under, right? And it's been rough because, man, that current, that tide, it's like a rip tide. It's just been trying to sink me, suck me out, eat me up, right? And then that Paulo Coelho quote today. This is long for those of you who are still here. Hi, I love you. That was a hug, by the way. We ain't saluting nobody. That's a hug, friends. And it was really powerful. Because that was sort of the silent rhythm of the bottom of my heart, right? Because a lot of my heart wasn't working. I had some, anyways, all these things. Didn't know if it'd ever work again. I mean, it was in that category, y'all. But that little bottom part was going kind of like the little end of the good. I think I can. Or this quote, you won't regret it. You won't regret it. You're in the suffering right now. Don't turn back because you got to go through the suffering again. You won't regret it. That's what my son was whispering to me that day. And his whispers matched those whispers in my heart that didn't have words. They had feelings. And he spoke to me from his feelings, and he shared his feelings with me, because that's kind of what wisdom is. That's why it involves the heart. It takes knowledge and information, and it makes it human. It makes it real. And that real that it makes is truth. And that's why they, all that name it, claim it, or vision board it, or, say it and feel it. The reason why is it has to become part of the earthly DNA, right? And so when you've been stuck in a bad cycle or tough things or karmic breaks or whatever, family, all that kind of stuff, how do you break free from it if you never knew you fell like Humpty Dumpty in the first place, right? Maybe you got knocked out cold. Maybe you're not there dreaming. Maybe you were left for dead. We don't know. How do you wake from that? Well, friend, my prayer for you is that it's coming and it's recognizable, that it takes hold of you, tangible, like yourself to yourself. It's like, hey friend, kind of like mine did. It doesn't have words, just ta-ta, ta-ta. Somehow you find yourself doing the very thing you didn't want to do. It was like, I hate that, I don't want to do that. And you're like out there walking or whatever it is. And you're like, that comes with a good feeling. You know what I mean? You start to recognize who you are and what those essences are that keep life pumping in your veins, that keep joy coursing through your endocrine system, that just keep you lighting up, shining so bright. But that's what it means. We're all headed home. The guy in the video with arms out for a hug, I just saw a person. I didn't even teach my boys to go, to have to judge whether they play with boys or girls. It's like, no, those are people. And that's what I see. We're people. We're all headed home. And the good news is, to me, yes, am I aware there's a lot going on out there in the world, but I think my visceral system would handle that before anything else. And I trust my angels too, and my guides, right? And if not, guess where I won't be? Here, right? I'll be all floating around, doing some fun stuff, making the sky brighter and the sun shinier for you guys. For us all. Though I'd love to be doing that here. Sometimes if we'll see that people are people, maybe we won't be so hard on ourselves, right? And that softening, that earthiness, not a brick, not baked earth, not been burnt, all that, every day made new. That freshness, 2024, freshness, yeah, and alive. I like that, and I like y'all. That's what I gotta say. I gotta love everybody, but I don't have to like them. And I like you. I'm glad you're here. All right, friend, if you stayed, put me like a heart and a frog and a thumbs up, something kind of quirky down below, okay, in the picture emojis, and let me know that you're one of these, the all and nothings, right? I love you.